Is everyone's experience of happiness exactly the same? Or when two people say they're happy, their underlying experiences might be different. Think about it for a moment. If you and your colleague get a promotion at work, let's take that example. While you might be feeling more excited than anything else, your colleague might have a different overarching emotion, let's say gratitude or joy or pride. This is why everybody's subjective experience of happiness can be quite varied and actually is quite varied. If you think about your own happiness at different times, not every experience of happiness gives you tears of joy, but some do, which tells you that even for the one person, the experience of happiness can be different at different times. This is why it's important to clarify what we mean when we say happiness or when we're talking about happiness, or especially when someone like me says choose happiness as a strategy. I think it's a fair question to ask what happiness means, because for someone who has always associated happy experiences or happiness to non-work related settings, that will sound quite absurd. So when I'm talking about happiness, I'm not talking about temporary sensory pleasures like having a delicious meal. What I'm talking about is rather a lasting sense of joy and fulfillment and satisfaction in life, which stems from a sense of purpose and meaning and accompanied by feelings like engagement, kindness, and compassion. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not against having a delicious meal. In fact, I love having a delicious meal, but let me explain why I'm more focused on the other kind of happiness that I just explained. So here's an example to understand. If you are given an opportunity to have an amazing meal, either with or without your loved ones, either with or without a friend whose company you love, which one would you choose? And I'm hoping, including me, most of us on a typical day would choose the latter, meaning the meal with the friend. Because, when you're having just a meal, it's a meal. You're just eating. But with that friend of yours sharing a meal, now you've suddenly turned eating into a much more meaningful activity. You've given it the meaning of connection, love, family, friends, and so on. So I think by making that choice, you deep down know already that just temporary sensory pleasures are not enough, right? Which is why I kind of categorize them as just pleasures. And when I talk about happiness, I go to this definition that I just shared with you, a lasting sense of joy, fulfillment, and satisfaction accompanied with feelings of engagement, kindness, and compassion, and so on. This choice that we just made to have this meal with a friend or a loved one rather than having it alone is quite revealing about human nature. It tells us that we don't just have a need for sensory pleasures and avoiding pain, but we also have a basic human need to look for meaning and meaningful experiences. Since it's human beings that make organizations, this need for meaning is also manifested at an organizational level, which is why it's great to see organizations create purpose and mission statements and talk about their values. Now, for a variety of reasons, many companies, while they have this great purpose and a mission statement, their employees struggle with driving a sense of meaning from their work, which is why you see decreased productivity, less engagement from employees, and ultimately a decline in real profits. This is where PERKFORM comes in. PERKFORM's mission is to empower these employees again to rediscover a sense of meaning through their work. And when that happens, it's not just an increase in employee engagement or profits. It's basically true transformation as opposed to digital transformation or any other transformation of the organization.